listening to I Am Refocused Radio with your host, Shamaya Reed. This show is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. And now, here's your host, Shamaya Reed.
Hey, welcome to I Am Refocused Radio. We are here once again, and today we have a returning guest. We have the president of Human Coalition, and that is Jeff Bradford. We have him again today, and we're going to be talking about a little bit what they have been doing lately because they've been really busy, but also we're going to touch on the topic of Planned Parenthood's new annual report. It shows that they are headed for more funding, increased funding. So with that, we're going to welcome our guest today, Jeff Bradford, and say, how you doing, man?
Hey, Shmai, it's great to see you. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for your time, man. Like I said, I know y'all are really busy over there doing great things. Kind of catch up with the audience. What have y'all been up to lately?
Well, saving children and families from abortion is our key objective. And, I tell you, it's been a fight since Roe v. Wade's been overturned. I think the fight's gotten even more intense across the country and state by state. And so we're doing everything we can to help women who are in difficult situation. But Shemaiah, 76% of the women who think abortion is their only option tell us that they would prefer to parent if their circumstances were different. And I think that's what so many people who only hear from Planned Parenthood or pro-abortion really neglect, that the woman actually wants to be a mom. She wants to have a family, but she's been told by the culture and by Planned Parenthood the only way she can flourish is to take the life of her child. The problem is she goes out of that abortion clinic with the same problems that she went in with. And nobody's addressing that, including Planned Parenthood.
And recently on nationalreview.com, there was an article written kind of just going through the facts of Planned Parenthood's new annual report, and that it shows that the priorities are increasing with government funding for performing high number of abortions and reducing the number of health services. With HuCo Action, what are some ways that y'all are trying to counter the services that they're providing and using your platform to educate women on their alternative resources?
Yeah, both with Human Coalition Action and Human Coalition. Human Coalition is a C3 and our Human Coalition Action is C4. So we work both on the legislative side, working on good laws that really move the needle for moms and families by helping them. But we also work on the service side where we actually intervene for women and give them the hope and the help that they need to empower them to choose life for their child and walk alongside them. And so both are extremely important. We have to move laws that help women. And so we do that. And so we work in the legislative side that says, hey, how do we help moms stand in the gap? And so we administer programs across states and that help moms with housing and education, employment, tangible needs, and all the things that they think that are obstacles that they think prevent them from having a child. We help them with those services so that they can be empowered to choose life. And so we have to be working both at the service level and the advocacy. At the service level, women are reaching out to us for that help and hope. They think abortion is their only option. But in fact, when they realize that there's people that will stand in the gap for them, that will come alongside them, they want to parent. And that's what we do. We help them make that empowered decision. We help them understand their choices, including adoption. And then we go to work and we help those women. If you look at Planned Parenthood, it was their second highest, most abortions ever in the history of Planned Parenthood, almost over 374,000 abortions. They represent about 40% of the market. But if you really look at what they're doing, they've got more abortion, less services, and more government funding. And that's the bottom line with Planned Parenthood. More abortions, second highest ever, even after Roe, less services across the board, except abortions are up, and more government funds to support really what comes down to not women's health care, not helping women, but aborting their child.
Once again, we're talking to our guest today, President of Human Coalition, Jeff Bradford. You can go visit their website if you want to get active. It's HuCoaction.org, where you can learn about press and their blogs and content information and the pro-life movement. For listeners out there, I mean, it seems like it's never a dull moment where pro-lifers are getting a lot of heat, and that's understandable. But to educate our listeners a little bit better, when it comes to Human Coalition and your work, when you're addressing these misunderstandings with pro-life movement, what's some ways people can have a better view of what y'all do?
Well, Shemai, I would encourage, your listeners. The fight is not anywhere near over. In fact, it's as I mentioned, more intense than ever, and we're facing opposition and some apathy we see in the market that people are confused. Many people think we won because Roe v. Wade was kind of the goal for 50 years. But we are literally fighting for the lives of these children and moms. And so we need people to step up. We need people to vote their pro-life ethics. We need people to show up and support pregnancy centers and organizations like Human Coalition Action, to get this work done. And so we've got to be in the middle of the fight. We've got to rescue as many children and families. And big tech and government has made that harder than ever. And so we need people to get engaged. We need churches to talk about this issue. Shemai, I mentioned the last time I was on here, my wife and I helped lead a church. We were lay pastor and my wife's worship leader for 17 years. And we sat in the pews thinking abortion was the unforgivable sin. I told you we took the life of our first daughter and we didn't talk about it for 17 years. Although we were leading church, involved heavily, we felt like it was the unforgivable sin because no one talked about it. Pastors didn't have the courage to talk about it. We didn't have the courage to talk about it. And so people sit silently thinking that they're the only ones, and they need help in healing and restoration and reconciliation so that we can heal this land, that we can heal so many people that struggle with this. And so this is why the fight's so important. We've got to rescue lives because every mom that chooses life becomes an advocate for life, that she did it. Perhaps her daughter or son can do it as well.
And with the services you all provide, there's always an argument that's made that pro-life movement is taking rights away from women. How can you counter that with facts of women that have used your services?
Well, it really comes back to the 76% of women who think abortion, and they are what we would define as planning to abort. They've made a decision to abort. They think it's their only option. Tell us, which is heartbreaking, 76% say, I would prefer to parent. And so we have, unlike Planned Parenthood or the abortionist, we have specialists and social workers that provide housing, education, employment services. We actually roll up our sleeves and help these women through the short-term obstacles that are in front of them that make them think that abortion is their only option when in their heart they want to be a mom. And so that is the game changer. That is what nobody talks about on the pro-abortion side. Why isn't with Planned Parenthood's $2 billion? Why aren't they giving them an empowered decision? Being a mom is talking about empowering women. If that's what they want to do, why wouldn't they be helping them? But their narrative is you just kill the child and somehow her life gets better. It changes her employment if you do that, or it changes her education, or changes her circumstances, and it doesn't. You need organizations like Human Coalitions, pregnancy centers, and churches that are willing to stand in the gap. And that's how our country is going to make abortion unthinkable and unnecessary in our lifetime.
For those listening right now on Refocus Radio, we're talking to our guest today, the president of Human Coalition, Jeff Bradford. You can go visit the website to get involved, HuCoaction.org, and do the homework for yourself, read for yourself, and want to thank you all for your time and thank the one and only Jeff Bradford. Thank you for your time.
Hey, thanks, Shemai. God bless you.